And they don't want to overextend themselves, and they're worried that they're going to be caught holding the bag, which usually means they'll sell early because the markets give as much pain to the most number of people as possible. Why in 2021, everyone's expecting 2017 to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Maximum pain.
In this recent interview on Mario Nawfal with Raoul Pal, we learn about Bitcoin's growing institutional adoption, BlackRock's strategic involvement, and the unexpected role of DeepSeek AI in shaping financial markets. Before we get into this discussion, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel. And make sure to check our description for some great deals with Gemini and Afani. Now let's hear more from Raoul Pal.
This is a technology that is the new layer to the internet. It's not just about tokens. What's unique about this technology is there's token incentivization built in, which is why these networks bootstrap so fast. It's currently $3 trillion as an industry. If I extrapolate out the rate of growth, the trend rate of adoption is twice the speed of the internet. As the internet slowed down in adoption rates because it gets more saturated, if we extrapolate the same, we get to about 4 billion users by 2030. So I think the asset class goes to $100 billion, and we're only 3% of the way there. So this is the largest, fastest accumulation of wealth in all human history that lies ahead of us. It's the big rebalancing, how everybody can get involved, whichever country you're in, however much you are, right? So it's the big one, the biggest macro trade of all time. That's primarily my interest in the trade. The whole space is driven by network adoption. More people join the network, the more applications that get built, the more valuable these networks become. Beyond that, it's then broken down to different companies or projects selling block space. That's all they do, which is a data storage and essentially that block or distributed ledger. And they've all got a different sales approach. Bitcoin has, we're the most trusted, we're secure. Ethereum is like, we're the broad big one. Solana's like, we're the fast retail. So everyone is selling block space. But again, we're all incentivized to get passionate behind these things because of the tokens. This whole thing is being driven by a big macro trend. The big macro trend is the debasement of currency. So as liquidity gets pushed into the markets every 4 years when the governments go and roll their debts, this is driven by everything I call the everything codes and work that I did showing that every 4 years governments need to refinance their debts. And what they do is inject massive liquidity to be able to do it and try and get interest rates lower. So as we do that, it creates a perfect 4-year cycle. And it's not going to go away until we get rid of the debt equations and everything else. So where are we in the 4-year cycle? I break them down by seasons, each year being a different season. Okay, winter being when liquidity is being taken away, 2022. 2023, spring. Okay, markets stop going down. People don't quite believe it yet, but you see green shoots coming, but it still feels a bit wintry and cold and miserable. Then summer, which is what we're finishing now. Macro summer is year 3, same year as the election cycles. And then we go into macro fall or autumn, crypto. You know,
When if we were trying to time
beginning
it,
of the year. So it's just an annual cycle. It's the beginning of the year, we go into the next, or the fall or the autumn cycle. And that's usually the most explosive. So summer starts to rip, and then we hit what I've called the banana zone, which is when everything goes, depends on global liquidity. Normally it lasts until about November because of this cycle. It lasts until November, and we have different structures of these cycles. We had the last one, which it usually has a peak around tax season. So March, people have to sell some tokens to pay taxes. It falls for a bit and then it rips at the end of the year. Last time it fell 50% over that period in 2021. And then it ripped, but it didn't really extend and everyone kind of got caught out by it was double top. 2017 and 13, well, they were different. They had the same cycle structure. It went to the summer, 2017, Bitcoin 10x'd from there in 4 months.
it's the same.
And that's the blow-off cycle. So we don't know what we're going to get, a stunted cycle or a blow-off cycle, but thinking about the political change and what's been going on, the probability has to be towards a blowout cycle. So that will be much higher price than everyone expects. Most people have PTSD from the last cycle.
As we just heard Raoul Pal discuss Bitcoin's institutional adoption and BlackRock's strategic interest, now let's hear them discuss more on the game-changing impact of DeepSeek AI on Bitcoin and why this technology is reshaping the financial landscape. Now, let's listen to what Raoul Pal has to say.
I don't see how that happens unless they break this everything code cycle of liquidity. So let's play this through. Let's say we're towards the end of 2025. The US economy and the global economy's picked up. What happens is inflation usually picks up a bit and the central banks start raising rates or tightening liquidity in some form. And that slows down 2026. Doesn't mean we get a recession, but we get a slowdown. So unless we change that dynamic, there's no reason to believe the 4-year cycle won't keep repeating. It'll stop being repeated once we break the root cause of the problem, which is demographic. No, we've got some new asset classes come in, but otherwise it's pretty much the same. So Bitcoin usually leads in spring and summer.
Which is now.
And then Bitcoin dominance falls and alt season starts. It's probably everything.
Everything, okay.
It almost doesn't matter, including all the dead tokens. My guess is even stupid shit like Luna will go up, 5x. Why? Because it's now a meme about the broken cycle last time. Who knows what goes up? It gets crazy season, is the point. So that Bitcoin dominance part of the cycle, that starts dropping from here, and then we start having the old season. But nothing structurally looks different. In fact, it's very similar when you map the charts, very similar to the 2016-17 cycle, and not dissimilar to the last one.
So one thing, I'm a very simplistic person when it comes to the markets, predicting the markets. Far from an expert. All I say, my only thesis, which Scott Melker, a mutual friend we have, he likes my thesis. I'm very simple. I think unless there's something fundamental is different, history will continue repeating itself time and time again. But that means everyone's expecting the cycle to end in November. So I think when everyone expecting it to end in November,
they've all got PTSD, all of them. You go on X and ask people where they think Bitcoin peaks out. My guess is most answers are 150,000. Well, it's 93,000 as we're speaking. And that's not very, and most people are worried that it's going to peak early. So the PTSD, the collective trauma, is it's not going to go as high as you expect. I need to sell early to take some chips off the table.
Yeah.
And that's when normally you get a correction, everyone says, thank God for that. And then it rips and everybody's calm. So
I got it.
And I've seen that so many times. It's like, oh shit, I sold too soon. The next thing is, and this has come back into the crypto world. Okay, so the problem is you build this amazing trading bot before the AGI comes and takes over. Let's say in the next 6 years, before AGI is ruining everything for us, you build this thing and I copy you. And then somebody else copies us. Okay, so what we've got here is an issue for venture capital and private equity. Nobody's going to go public because the time horizon is too short now, because it's all about attention and not about business model moats. Some of that obviously still applies. So I think the ICO market has to come back. It's the only way to allow capital formation and destruction at the speed of which we need it. Because I'm sorry, but waiting 10 years for a VC to allow you to go public ain't gonna cut it in this world. It's over. So we got 6 years to unfuck our future. And so that's why I'm all in on this.
To watch the full interview, check out the link in the description. Raoul Pal breaks down why Bitcoin's adoption is skyrocketing, how institutions like BlackRock are reshaping the space, and the role of AI-driven models like DeepSeek AI in analyzing the market. He also touches on the macroeconomic cycles that suggest a major move for Bitcoin is on the horizon. We would love to hear your thoughts on some questions. Will AI-driven financial models like DeepSeek AI redefine Bitcoin's price movements? Does BlackRock's involvement signal mainstream acceptance? Or does it pose a risk to Bitcoin's decentralization? Thank you for tuning in to Only the Savvy. If you enjoyed this discussion, please subscribe, like, and share our video for more engaging content covering the innovative world of decentralized technologies. SIM-swap fraud is sweeping the globe, and your mobile security is at risk. Switch to Ifani and lock out SIM-swap fraud and get the most elite mobile protection in the world. Ifani guarantees 100% protection from SIM swaps, backed by a $5 million insurance policy. Stay secure with reliable coverage, free international roaming, and unlimited data. Trust Ifani to keep your communications and assets secured. Get military-grade protection, 24/7 concierge service, and a hassle-free upgrade. Click the link below for $150 off. Thanks for watching. Help support this channel and receive exclusive offers from one of our partners located in the description. We'll see you on the next one.